With that, Sunilji, with all of those details from Jammu. Now, in view of Independence Day, security has been beefed up along the line of control as well. Sniper dogs are being used by the Indian Armed Forces to detect weapons, mines and explosives. India today travelled to Akhnoor to check the preparedness, in fact, of the forces. Sunilji filed this report as well.
This area, Akhnoor Sector, is one of the most dangerous stretches along the line of control. And history says that whether it was 1965 war, 1971 war, our army jawans have displayed great courage, determination and valor in this area. Many battles were fought here and Pakistan had to bite the dust here. And even now, Pakistan has been resorting to provocations here. In the recent past, we have seen that now drones are being used to carry out attacks. Drones are being used to smuggle weapons and drugs here in Jammu and Kashmir. But our brave army jawans are maintaining strict vigil and they are ensuring that enemy doesn't resort to any kind of misadventure. Here you can see that sniffer dogs are also being used by the Indian Army personnel to ensure that there is no untoward incident here. These sniffer dogs can detect mines, weapons or any other explosives, because these days drones are used to drop weapons and smuggle drugs. So here at the line of control, security has been tightened in view of the Independence Day celebrations. And if we are able to celebrate Independence Day peacefully in our cities, villages, towns, it's because of these brave army jawans. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from the line of control in Akhnoor Sector, Akhnoor for India Today.
Meanwhile, India has built its first and biggest warship. Its name is INS Vikrant. The Swadeshi aircraft is currently under trials. India Today is the first channel to board the Indian Navy's new marvel. Here is our exclusive report from newly built INS Vikrant.
The distant winds of India's independence have brought our young nation a great distance. As the world's largest democracy navigates the modern age, one stain remains on the armor of our national security. The fact that India remains one of the biggest importers of defense equipment. But this month, in a battle cry of enormous proportions, India signaled to the world that Swadeshi muscle in defense isn't some distant pipe dream. In an unmissable 40,000-ton message, Vikrant, India's first Swadeshi aircraft carrier, sailed out from her construction berth and went out to sea. And Battle Cry is now the first crew to get on board India's biggest home-built warship for this special report. After a long wait, Vikrant went to sea for the first time. Sea trials along with helicopter operations considered the first big breakthrough of this brand new vessel. The mammoth warship will be ready to be commissioned next year into the eagerly awaiting Indian Navy. This takes India into a select club of 7 countries: the US, UK, France, Russia, Italy and China, that have the capability to design and build such a complex warship. The Indian Navy's previous aircraft carriers, the original Vikrant and then the Virat and now the Vikramaditya, were acquired first from the UK and then Russia. As per naval tradition, ships never die, and in keeping with this, the indigenous aircraft carrier will be back in its new avatar with the same name, Vikrant. India's first aircraft carrier, acquired from the United Kingdom in 1961, that was decommissioned later, was also called Vikrant. The new Vikrant is expected to live up to its name, that means victorious and gallant.
The long-cherished dream of having an indigenous aircraft carrier has almost come true. And very soon, INS Vikrant will be sailing in the seas.
An aircraft carrier is basically a mini floating airbase at sea, which sets it apart from other warships in terms of operations, reach and complexities.
The aircraft carrier, as I mentioned, is central to our concept operation. So this will, as part of our force levels, add to the versatility of our operations both in wartime and peacetime. So I think this ship will play its role, and even more importantly, being indigenous. It's a symbol of Akhnoor Bharat. It's a very potent symbol of the government's drive for Akhnoor Bharat. And when another country sees that such a sophisticated and potent warship has been designed and built in India, it will itself act as a symbol, as a deterrent, as a projection of our power, of the capability of the country. And therefore, I think it is very important in more ways than one.
In spite of India's glorious maritime heritage, there was no indigenous warship design or warship building capability at the time of independence in 1947. The indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant is 262 meters long, 62 meters at the widest part, with a depth of 30 meters minus the superstructure. There are 14 decks in all, including 5 in that superstructure above the aviation deck. The ship has over 2,300 compartments, designed for a crew of around 1,700 personnel, including specialized cabins to accommodate women officers when embarked. While the final touches to construction are still happening, the ship managed to go to sea with 1,200 personnel on board.
This sea trial was essential for the ship to evaluate the way she keeps the handling of the ship, the performance of machinery and various other equipment. So this gave an opportunity for us not just to try the seakeeping qualities of the ship, but also the machinery in the entire spectrum of her exploitation, and other ancillaries including the various RO plants and other machinery were also put through the paces of trial.
The ship's top speed is around 28 knots and cruising speed about 18 knots. With an endurance of 7,500 nautical miles, she can cover the entire coastline of India twice without any requirement of refueling.